In-depth report right now, and the growing threat from these militias. Seeing as Brian Todd is here with more on what he's learning. What are you learning, Brian?
Well, if you'll remember, in the 1990s, these groups were blamed for espousing the ideology put into practice by that Oklahoma City bomber, Timothy McVeigh. 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 Timothy McVeigh.
The media had a field day reporting a tenuous tie between the Michigan militia and Oklahoma City bombers Tim McVeigh and Terry Nichols.
I know for a fact that McVeigh was never in the militia. Not at all. He went to one meeting. He mentioned a few things that we found disturbing, and he was asked to leave.
But when McVeigh's bomb went off in Oklahoma, it was the militia that was showing the door.
To the right, according to Lee, is what gave the Michigan militia a black eye during the 90s. That's when several members were arrested on weapons and conspiracy charges, and Oklahoma City bomber Tim McVeigh was falsely linked to the militia, despite never being a member. During that time, the militia lost many members, and Lee says news reports falsely depicting the militia as radical extremists didn't help.
We're very aware of the different groups here in state.
This is Special Agent Bill Kowalski of the FBI. He says in recent years the Bureau has enjoyed a good relationship with militia groups. Kowalski expects that relationship to continue as long as militia groups abide by the law.
There are a large number of individuals in this group who understand their civic duties and are trying to do the right thing.
And to clarify a further point, the militia, how we're set up, very, very defensive in nature. The way we're structured, the way we're set up, in small, very small groups, very locally based, very community organized, because we are very good community organizers. And we learned how to be community organizers from the community organizer. We're defensive in nature. And to suggest that we were involved in any acts of terrorism, particularly Oklahoma City, is wrong, and it's probably brought about by either inability to grasp the facts, lack of access to the facts, or blind hatred toward the cause of freedom. If you have information that can connect a militia person to an act of terrorism like Oklahoma City, I insist that you contact your local law enforcement and or the FBI as soon as possible. And you heard it here. Lee Miracle, aka Weapon M, from the Southeast Michigan Volunteer Militia, is encouraging people with information about links to terrorism to contact law enforcement. If you have any information that links me to something, contact law enforcement. But there isn't such information because we don't do that kind of thing. Because the militia people that I know would have gladly and eagerly given their own lives to protect the lives of innocent Americans, both at Oklahoma City, both at 9/11, anywhere else where there was destruction wrought upon our people. We would have given a chance, gladly put our own lives in place of the people that were killed. And that's what makes a good citizen.
Lee Miracle says he hasn't always cared much for media attention, but he's getting a lot of it lately. Lee and the militia are featured in a 9-page spread in this month's edition of Our Magazine. If you'd like to read more about Lee and the new militia movement, you can pick up a copy on newsstands. Ray Saya, Channel 7 Action News.
I spent some time with militia about 3 years ago covering them, and that's what they insist. It's all America's duty to be prepared to pick up arms and defend the country. And that's what they do.